Welcome everyone to the Wisconsin Faith and Solar Initiative. I'm Huda Alkaff, founder director of Wisconsin Green Muslims. We are happy to have our presenter today is Bob Lindmeier from St. John's Lutheran Church in Oregon, Wisconsin. Welcome, Bob. So Bob is Senior Chief Meteorologist at WKOW TV in Madison, Wisconsin. And he is in his 41 year now at WKOW. He believes strongly in climate change education and has given numerous presentations. We are very honored to have him with us today. Bob is a member of St. John's Lutheran Church in Oregon, Wisconsin, where he's the council vice president and leads a Care for Creation ministry that led to a successful effort to install rooftop solar. He's also a member of his Synod Care of Creation ministry and many other efforts in regards to faith communities and general outreach to the public. So welcome, Bob, and glad to have you. And please introduce us to your project.
Sure. Well, thank you very much for having me. A little background, as you mentioned, I am part of the Care of Creation team at St. John's. So we started it actually as a way to try to get solar installed at St. John's. It kind of came in conjunction with a capital campaign that St. John's did to reduce some debt, redo the sanctuary, and redo the roof. And when we heard, well, the roof's going to be redone, hey, that's an important part of having solar. Having your solar panels on a new roof really helps. So 3 years ago, we started this whole process. This is a look at the grounds of St. John's, and that blue square is where we envisioned the solar panels being installed. That would be right on top of the sanctuary. When we did the calculations, we found out that it was really worth doing in a number of ways. We anticipated about $4,300 savings on our utility rates in the first year. That would be 27% savings. And the savings were projected to grow as utility rates rose about 3% a year. The purchase of electric energy from our utility is expected to be reduced by 26%, which, as you know, is pretty substantial. And over 30 years, the annual utility savings are anticipated to average about $6,810 for a total savings during that time span of over $200,000. So it really was impactful to go about getting solar installed. So we checked around with a number of installers. So we ended up going with full spectrum solar. Our contract price was $58,400. And we did have grants, which were so important. Renew Wisconsin and focused on energy grants of almost $20,000. And we had some private donations as well. So our net purchase costs was $36,900. Now, because of our capital campaign and all the giving involved there, we couldn't ask our parishioners, we couldn't ask what we have in our church, the people, to donate to solar. So we had to come up with other ways. So how do we pay for the net purchase costs? What we did was we have a solar sponsor. For the first 6 years of operation, we have a tax sponsor who is facilitated by Legacy Solar Co-op. They own and operate the part of the solar array not paid for by grants and monies, this $36,900. The tax sponsor will be paid quarterly from the energy savings generated by the solar array. So for the first 6 years, we're not going to realize the savings at St. John's, because the money is going to help pay off the rest of the solar array. To maximize the long-term savings, the goal is to buy out the tax sponsor after 6 years. And the remaining balance after 6 years is projected to be about $21,000. After we pay that off, the annual utility savings from year 7 to year 25 are anticipated to be about $5,300 per year, for a total utility savings of almost $100,000. So how do we take care of this buyout? Our Care Creation Ministry proposed that this $21,000 be paid for by donations. If 18 families who feel strongly about solar donate $200 per year for 6 years, the buyout will be paid for in year 7. If the funds are not received in year 7, then we had the option to stay with the tax sponsor as long as needed until the funds were collected to complete the buyout. However, we found that the best option was to buy out in year 7 in terms of getting benefit from the solar array. The environmental benefits were really substantial. The use of the system for the next 25 years will eliminate 915 tons of carbon dioxide from St. John's carbon footprint. This is equivalent to burning 891,600 pounds of coal or driving vehicles 1,830,000 miles or planting 21,300 trees. So churches are ideal for solar. They have big rooftops. They can really make an impact. And of course, there's the environmental stewardship. Climate change is adversely impacting God's creation. Humanity has played a significant part in the destruction of our environment, so we have the responsibility for its restoration. The ELCA strongly supports actions to reduce climate change and calls on congregations and individuals to environmental stewardship. So the installation of the solar panels on the sanctuary roof is the single most impactful action our congregation can take to reduce the carbon footprint of the church and help mitigate climate change. So when we presented this slideshow, which I just showed you, to the congregation a couple of years ago, it overwhelmingly passed. I would say we had a vote of 95% acceptance of going ahead with installing solar in the ways that we just mentioned. And we have an older population, pretty conservative. Financially, they wanted to make sure it all worked out, but they were on board. So this is the solar array that was actually completed in the fall of last year, so the fall of 2020. And these are some of the individuals involved. On the left is a representative from Full Spectrum Solar, the installer. The center individual is from Renew Wisconsin. The Renew Wisconsin was so important and supportive. And then Legacy Solar Co-op, which again was the facilitator of this tax sponsor that helped us finance the remainder of the solar array. So it all came together wonderfully. We were really happy with the way it turned out. There's a lot of work involved, as you might have mentioned, but it paid off. So we were very happy to install solar on the rooftop of St. John's, and I hope other churches will be willing to do the same.
Thank you very much, Bob, for this presentation. Wisconsin Faith and Solar Initiative is an interfaith initiative. We work with 18 different traditions, faith traditions and spiritualities to advance solar and interfaith relationships. I'm Huda Alkaff. I'm the coordinator of the Wisconsin Faith and Solar Initiative. Thank you very much.